Hello, everyone. This is Kaushal Zubair with the KZ Show. The objective of the show is to transform lives by sharing ideas that inspire action. Today, we have with us a world renowned certified sports nutritionist, Rehan Janadi. He has over 1,000 nationally and internationally published articles on nutrition and supplementation from the US to Canada, Italy, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, England, India, and even Japan. Rehan has worked with many Olympic and professional athletes, including gold medalists. He has developed customized nutrition and supplementation programs for clients that include Oscar winning actors, Emmy award winning television stars, and Grammy winning musicians. As Ramadan is starting from next Tuesday, let's hear Rehan's thoughts on various strategies in managing our nutritional needs to stay focused while fasting. Welcome, Rehan.
Thank you so much for the wonderful intro. Love being on your show as always. We want to provide valuable information that people can really benefit from.
Definitely looking forward to it. So, to start with, you are very big on the workout and also managing proper eating habits. How do we do it during fasting in the month of Ramadan?
That's a great question. And that's something actually I've been doing for the past 25 years. 25 years ago, it was a different world when I came out with my first article, How to Be Fit during Ramadan. People thought I was crazy because they didn't have this concept of health and fitness during fasting. They said, well, this is a spiritual time. This is a time to not do that, to focus on spirituality, to focus on prayers and things. But my argument has always been, and now you see how many people are doing Ramadan fitness now. It's so popular and so big. And the reason why I always say that you want to be fit in Ramadan is so you can maximize prayer, so you can maximize spirituality. How many people out there have been sick, feel tired, have brain fog because of overeating or not training or not really taking care of their bodies? So what we try to do is give you the best nutrition, training, and hydration program, especially during Ramadan, to give you maximum spirituality throughout the whole month. So you don't get tired, so you don't fade. You know what happens many times in Ramadan is if you don't take care of your body, over time, your body gets worn out and you miss prayers, you oversleep, you can't focus. So this is why
Mhm.
we do this. We stay fit and we eat well during Ramadan and do this fitness program to, again, maximize the blessings of the month. So to answer your question, number one, the importance of it is for health and wellness. Number two, to maximize spirituality. That should be number one, actually. Then number two would be to maximize your health and fitness. And then we say that really is be conscious of what you're eating, right? What is the meaning of Ramadan? One of the things about Ramadan is understanding how little you need to eat, right? To control your body
Yeah.
of eating this food and drink. So I always say to people, look, you haven't eaten or drank food for 16 hours, and then in 1 hour you eat enough for the whole week. You know what I mean? It's like
Yep.
I think you've seen this, right? People pull up a chair to iftar tables. It's like this is like the food is going somewhere. It's crazy. So it's like you're so pious and religious, and you're in that fasting spiritual mode, and then at 7:14 it just goes out the window, and you're just eating like going crazy, and that is extremely detrimental to the body. So we say, listen, take care of yourself, eat in moderation, even at nighttime when you're allowed to eat, and hydrate, hyperhydrate. Get some kind of training in. Now, I'm not saying go work out for 2 hours every night in Ramadan. I'm saying, look, get 15 to 20 minutes, whether that's a walk, whether that's push ups at home, whatever it is, move, do some activity because that will allow you to focus and have a better month during Ramadan.
So, what is the ideal activity, physical activity that we can perform, and what is the ideal time to perform it?
Those are great questions, and this is something I get all the time. The best activities, number one, is resistance training. I know you want to go for a walk. I mean, cardio is okay, but the problem with cardio is you cause dehydration. So it's important to get short resistance training type workout. So what I would say is now some of the gyms are opening up now. I would train at night. It's very important. This is very critical. I know a lot of people disagree with me, but I have to vigilantly say, do not train or exercise while fasting because it's not really a food issue. You could train without the food, but the problem is the water. training under a dehydrated state causes a lot of problems to your cellular health. It causes a lot of issues, muscle breakdown. It could cause loss of strength. It could actually be harmful to your cells because dehydration has actually been shown to cause apoptosis, even cell death. It actually decrease your immune function as well. So it's not a good idea to train while you're fasting, but to train basically an hour after iftar, later on in the night if you stay up late, or ideally if you could train right before suhoor. But most people don't want to get up that extra 30 minutes or whatever. So ideally, go work out. 20 minutes is all it takes. Literally 15 to 20 minutes of intense training. Just do it intensely, do it quick, do it fast. Last year is interesting. I was doing some Zoom workouts, and our workouts were 15 to 20 minutes, and people were like, wow, this is great. You're in and out, hard, push-ups, crunches, stuff home you can do at home. Very easy, high intensity, drink water, you're done. So train at night, train with resistance training, and again, hydrate like crazy when you open your fast.
Okay. What about the eating habits? What type of foods we should be eating at night or in the morning?
Wow, God, you're giving me all the best questions. So I think the foods you got to eat really is number one the goal, and I've written a very detailed article on the subject. You could look up my name with Ramadan, and you'll find it everywhere online. It's been around for 20 years, so I've updated it every few years, so you'll see it. I may actually write another article for this Ramadan, but basically for suhoor, the goal is to eat protein, fiber, hydrative foods. So you want to eat things like watermelon, cantaloupe, dates. You want to eat cucumbers, things like that at suhoor time because what we say is that's like eating your water. Watermelon is 93% water, and it has something in there called citrulline, which increases blood flow. So it's really good for you to take watermelon. And the Prophet actually recommended, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam recommended eating watermelon with dates. That was actually a sunnah. So dates, watermelon. What I like to do is make an egg omelet with some egg yolk, some egg whites. Add some toast like multigrain flax toast with some all natural peanut butter, things like that. You want to cook in olive oil. You want to make sure you're getting olive oil because it's really beneficial to your body. And then drink a lot of water. And those fruits I mentioned, people only eat dates for iftar, but you should actually eat dates for suhoor because that's when you actually need it to hyperhydrate your body as well. And dates actually have 67% more potassium than bananas. So they actually really hydrate your body. And most people eat too much salt. So don't eat too
So
much salt
how
in the
many
morning.
dates would you suggest?
At least three, at least 3 to 5 dates, depending if they're majul, ajwa. Of course, majul are larger, so anywhere from 3 to 5 dates. Seven if you have ajwa dates, but because they're very small. But that would give you the amount of potassium you need. That would give you the carbohydrates you need for energy, and beta D glucan, which is a fiber that's found in dates, creates a feeling of fullness. So you don't get starved, 3 hours after suhoor, and you're like, oh my god, I still have 12 hours to go. You're kind of full. You feel good. Oatmeal is great for the morning. Eat oatmeal. Eat raw honey. Like take raw honey because raw honey has an immune boosting effect. And raw honey is really, really good for immune system, for energy, for all those things. So eat that in the morning. What I love to do is eat about a 5 egg white omelet with one yolk, bowl of oatmeal with dates, watermelon, cinnamon, and raw honey, and then have maybe a handful of Brazilian nuts. That's what I love to do for suhoor time. Also, very important, take a good multivitamin, multimineral product because your body is going to be depleted of nutrients and you don't want to be deficient in nutrients, especially in Ramadan because you're eating such less food. So make sure you take a good multivitamin, multimineral product. Perfect Family. There's a company called Super Nutrition that makes a product called Perfect Family. Great vitamin. You can certainly try that. There's other ones that are awesome too, but take that at suhoor time so you don't have any deficiencies. And then as far as nutrition for iftar time, I would highly recommend you break your fast with dates, water, and then have a small, it's very important, have a small amount of food, whether it's chicken and rice, whether it's some kind of iftar type fruit, very, very light iftar. I'm trying to train everybody out there to eat a very light iftar and then wait an hour and then have your big meal. Chicken and rice, sandwiches, whatever you want to eat, but wait an hour. Most people eat too much at iftar time. How many people out there, and I can see you shaking your head, guys, if you're like, oh yeah, You eat too much at iftar time, you're done for the night. Your stomach is full. You
Yep.
can't even pray. You're like, oh my God. And how many of you out there always say this, man, I ate too much. That one extra plate, God, it got me in. We always have that
Yeah.
regret. So don't do that. Eat small iftar, wait an hour, drink lots of water, and then eat your big meal before you go pray. So that's the ideal way to do it. And then have one more meal at night if you can, and then keep drinking water with you. Whether you're going to pray at the mosque, wherever you're going, keep that bottle of water with you. Keep water in the car. Always drink water at night. You've got to hyperhydrate. So that's kind of how I would structure the suhoor and the iftar meals.
Okay. So many people, and I have done it definitely, that when we break fast, we just eat dinner. So don't
Yeah,
do that.
no, that's a big mistake. Eat very small. I know it's hard to do because you're starving, but just eat some dates, drink water, eat watermelon, eat a bowl of fruit. You can take a protein shake, a nutrition shake that can give you some nutrients, a small amount, and then wait that hour. That will change your life. If you just give me 1 hour after iftar and then eat, you will feel like $1 million. You'll be focused, you'll be ready, you'll be energetic, and you won't have that dull phase. How many of you experienced that? Eat too much iftar time, and then you have brain fog while you're trying to pray. So we don't want that. We want you to focus. And again, Ramadan is a month to look at food for function. Food for function. That's what it teaches us, right? It teaches a way to look at food that you don't need that much food, right? And many people don't have that food. So who are we to live in such excess? You don't need much food to live, and you don't need much water. And this is the month that trains you for that. And again, there's so much research on the benefits of fasting. It's actually a fitness trend now. Can you imagine what our prophet was doing, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, 1400 years ago? Is now a fitness trend. There have been books about it and intermittent fasting, right? But we were doing it for 1400 years. So anyway, I think that we know the health benefits of it, but you got to control it. We don't want IBS. You know what IBS is, right? Not the stomach problem. IBS
Mhm.
is iftar binge syndrome. When
Yes.
you go crazy at iftar time, we don't want IBS. Okay, we want IBS out. So eat light. Think of your body as a food for function. Look at food differently. This is the month to really train yourself to look at food differently. And I say that to myself. I'm human. I love food. But you know what? Control that food. Allow yourself to see its function, and you will function so much better throughout the month, and you'll have the best month of your life. I promise you.
All right. Perfect. So you mentioned about the benefits of fasting. Can you share some of the benefits that you are aware of? Why do we
Well,
fast? Like
well,
from not from a spiritual perspective, but
yeah,
from mental, from like a physical health perspective.
yeah. I'm a protein sheikh. I'm not a sheikh. So it's I would say that number one, there's been so many studies done on fasting. By the way, in Ramadan, and actually most of it's funny. A lot of the research they quote for intermittent fasting for like the diet stuff or the fitness trend, actually
Hmm.
the studies they use were actually on people doing Ramadan fasting, not regular intermittent fasting. So it's interesting. All the Ramadan research is being used now for this fitness trend called intermittent fasting. So some of the benefits that research has actually shown has been to lower cholesterol, improve overall health, lower triglycerides. It's been shown to improve brain function. It's actually been shown to remodel your brain to where you could think better. It's been shown to help with certain immune boosting effects. You can actually boost your immune system. We're living in a COVID era where immune system is very important right now. So we want to make sure your immune system is very healthy, and fasting can allow your body to reset the immune system and actually stimulate immune cells to make you much more resistant against infections, against COVID, other stuff as well, to help you just fight those illnesses much better. Other research studies have actually shown fat loss, even overall body health and wellness function. So there's numerous benefits we know that are proven in clinical research. Again, if the big you don't have iftar binge syndrome, so you don't go crazy at night. Because if you know this to be true, and it's funny, many people are like, "Man, I gained weight in Ramadan." I'm like, "How did you gain weight? You gained weight in Ramadan? That's crazy." But people do, and it's because of that, because your metabolism slows down, and so you want to make sure you prime your metabolism by eating small meals even at night. and not eat way too much at one time.
Okay. No, that's definitely sounds good. Any particular exercises that you would recommend? Physical workouts.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have a whole list of them, but I think that some of the best ones you can do just at home are crunches. You could do leg lifts off the ground. You could do planks right off your floor. I always say, people are like, well, I don't have equipment. I'm like, well, do you have a floor? Like, you have floor, right? You have ground, right? It's like, that's all you need. I mean, you're good. So do
Yeah.
some planks off the floor. There's some, by the way, you could like research online now so many home workouts without weights. They're on YouTube. You can look up any videos. There's so many things out there. I love to have planks, crunches, leg lifts. Core strength is really, really important to me and to you. It should be because it reduces lower back injuries, a lot of problems. That's another big thing in Ramadan is people have trouble because they're praying so much, their lower back gets sore and they have lower back problems. So strengthening your core can help you avoid some of that and stretch. You gotta stretch in Ramadan. I always stretch even before prayer because you're really amping up your prayer. Most people pray way
Mhm.
more in Ramadan. They're not used to it. Prayer is kind of exercise. I mean, you're moving. You're doing a lot of activity. So you got to make sure your hamstrings, your hip flexors are very loose. So stretch out. I even recommend you stretch out at the masjid. I mean, why not? You know what I mean? Why not? It might look a
Mhm.
little weird, but maybe the parking lot. But stretch out
Yeah.
a little bit, and then push-ups. You can do close grip push-ups, wide grip push-ups. You could do all kinds of angled push-ups, and you could do jumping jacks. You could do mountain climbers. You could do a lot of high intensity stuff at home, and that will allow you to get the best results possible. But again, short, sweet, intense workouts, 15 to 20 minutes max. Go all out, go hard, and then you'll continue getting the results. And I've seen people actually gain muscle in Ramadan, which doesn't seem logical, but I've seen that. I've seen that happen many, many times. In fact, when I was competing one year in bodybuilding at the national level, I actually had a diet, a competition type dieting before during Ramadan. So it was, I mean, it
Mhm.
was intense and it worked. I won the show. So, that's called faith power. So we did it, we did it. But it's look, anybody can do it. It's just a matter of you committing. But also, gosh, if I'll tell you this, it's also preparation, right? I say if you
Okay.
fail to plan, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And a lot of
Mhm.
Ramadan is prep. Get the food early, get the lean protein, get the healthy stuff, get dates, get figs, get olives, get olive oil, get fish, get yams, get some of these healthy type items, raw honey, oatmeal, eggs, all these kind of things that can prepare you to eat well. Also, try not to eat out too much because a lot of eating out has a lot of sodium, a lot of salt, and again, if you have to eat out, moderation. Don't overeat. That's the key. Eat a
Mhm.
little bit, moderation. And again, that's not me saying it. That's the prophet. So that's what I'm saying it. I mean, we forget about the 1/3 water, 1/3 food, 1/3 air rule. We definitely forget it
Yes.
at 7:16 p.m. at iftar time. We're like, what was the hadith? Is it sahih? I don't know. Ah, man. So we start debating the hadith when it's time to eat. But we know it's true. We know it's haq, and we know that a lot of disease is now spread of overeating. In fact, the National Institute of Health says that 90%, 90% of all disease is directly related to the diet you eat. And they've actually seen studies now where COVID effects, and if you have severe COVID effects, it's because of inflammation, which is directly related to diet and lifestyle problems. So take care of yourself. This is the time. Ramadan is a booster, it's an enhancer. And this is the time to do it. If you're not going to do it now,
Mhm.
you'll never do it. So do it now.
So the benefits that you described, we are in summer right now, so we would have basically, or it's spring, but we are gonna have 17 hours of fasting, and for 30 days. Is there any particular number of hours that we have to fast to get the benefits? How about people in Australia who would
Uh,
have like 10, 11 hours of fasting?
That's a great question. I think generally we've seen studies where about 12 hours is kind of the minimum threshold to have a lot of health benefits. So if you can go over 12 hours, you'll see some benefits. And again, even if you fast less than that, if you control the food during the other hours, right, then you could
Mhm.
even benefit more. So it's just a matter of portion control. Look, you a lot of times people say, look, I don't want to give up this. I don't want to give up that. It's not about giving it up. It's about getting better choices. It's about eating moderation, right? So instead of 10 samosas, maybe eat one. You know what I mean? Like it's like that idea, right? Of like
But they are
training your
so
mind.
good. You want to eat more, right?
I've given you 20 minutes of arguments, scientific arguments, and the only argument that they have is, oh, but it tastes good.
Yes.
And that, you know what, that overcomes so much of the science. But you know what? Hey, listen, man. I've seen people who literally drank chai and ate samosa every day of their life give it up. I've seen people who said they would die rather than give up biryani. They didn't die. They gave up biryani, right? So people, you can do it. It's possible. You can do it at any age. I've had people 60, 70 years old give up their favorite thing and just live a better life. And it's about quality of life too, right, Kashif? I mean, you don't want to be living a life where it's just like taking medicines. You see what's happening in our community. Like we could be blind to it, but it's happening. I mean, we see COVID, and COVID really exposed our body's inflammatory unhealthiness. That's what COVID did. It just exposed us for being unhealthy. If we were all healthy and fit, COVID would be nothing. It'd be like the flu. But because we're unhealthy and our bodies are inflamed, our obesity is so high now. I mean, they're saying now that 42% of the US population is considered obese and 67 to 70% is overweight. Could you imagine 7 out of 10 people in this country are now considered overweight? I mean, this is what's happening. So we don't want to be the Muslim Ummah. We came to find solutions. We were the leaders. So let's lead in this too. Let's be examples, not only spiritually, but let's be examples physically. We're already controlling our food. And in fact, some of my non-Muslim friends actually do Ramadan with me. They still do it because they're like, man, it just feels good. Like I just feel like healthier. I lose 10 pounds. I feel great. So they just do Ramadan just to do it. So if they can do it, I mean, Muslims can do it for sure, you know?
Yeah. How do you manage, especially for people who are in the workforce, how do you manage or maintain your energy levels? Because you eat at
That's good.
5 o'clock in the morning, and then your work starts probably around like 8:30, and then you are at work till 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. How do you manage the whole day?
Well, food, first of all, is medicine, right? Food, if you eat the
Mhm.
right type of food, you can actually condition your body for energy, for metabolism, for all these things, brain function. So, one of the things I recommend is eating complex carbohydrates and fiber at suhoor time. We talked about oatmeal, dates, figs. We talked about natural
Mhm.
peanut butter. We talked about Brazilian nuts. We talked about high fibrous, hydrative type foods. Even watermelon, that because it has citrulline, can actually improve brain focus as well. Eating fish oil, taking fish oil at suhoor time as a supplement can increase brain function throughout the day. One thing I recommend is if you drink coffee at suhoor time, add a supplement called L-tyrosine. We talked about this before, but L-tyrosine is an amino acid that extends the half-life of caffeine, and it can allow you to increase focus for maybe 8 to 10 hours, so you can get through your workday with with more mental focus and mental clarity. So taking things like that, eating filling fibrous food, right? Most of it just eat a quick date or water, or just we're always in a hurry for suhoor, right? We wake up
Mhm.
with 5 minutes remaining and we drink water, like, oh my God, we're running, like, oh my God, like we're like, oh, we got 2 minutes, run, get something, right? So look, plan to get up 30 minutes before, 40 minutes before, plan to cook, right? Get on a schedule, right? And get on a game plan. And if you eat these foods, you can have energy throughout the day. You can have more mental focus. And it's also important to hydrate at night. One of the biggest reasons why people have low energy at the end of the day is because they don't drink enough water at night. So if you're dehydrated, you're not gonna make it up at suhoor time. It's too late.
Yep.
So now when you're dehydrated, your brain is down. Your energy levels are low. So all these things are happening because you didn't hydrate the night
Mm.
before. So make sure as soon as you can drink water, keep water, sip it. And again, pro tip: don't guzzle down like a whole gallon, right? Sip it. Drink a little bit, wait 15 minutes, drink more. Every 15 minutes, drink water, even sips. That will help you get more water in your body and then lower that energy, that all that stuff that happens at work. You can help avoid that just by being hyperhydrated overnight.
Mhm. With all the food that we are taking and the multivitamins and everything else, would the impact be immediate, or should we, like, as we have 5 days in Ramadan right now, should we start preparing something now for our bodies?
I
So
would, yeah.
on the first day of Ramadan, we are not just down with low energy.
I would do it now. I would start, even, I mean, some people even start training shorter periods now. Drink, for example, one thing you do right now is drink 1 or 2 more cups of water a day. Simple tip. Just drink 1 more cup than you normally drink right now, or 2 cups. That way, you start getting more hydrated. Get used to eating oatmeal. Get used to eating dates. Start eating dates now, right? You start doing it today. And I think that will prepare you mentally and even physically to allow you to get better results when you start Ramadan on Tuesday.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Any other things that we should be careful of or should look out for?
That's a really another guy. You're hitting me with the best questions today. My God, you've done this before?
Sort
A few
of.
times. Yeah, a few times. A few million
Few
times. Yes, I
times.
know. But no, I mean that's again that's one of the biggest issues is that like what not to eat, right? One of the biggest things we gotta avoid are fried foods. Anything deep fried will slow you down, will make your brain fog, will cause you to have heartburn, right? Those are the things we don't want. How many of you been in prayer and people are burping up like biryani and it's like heartburn and you're like, oh my God, I can't. You can't focus on prayer. It's crazy. So I think it's very important to avoid fried foods, avoid deep fried foods. Most importantly, avoid high sodium foods. Avoid foods like breads, like sauces, condiments, soups, like these things. Adding salt to your food. Avoid all that because that creates dehydration, creates thirst problems, and then compensate for that by eating more dates and by eating figs. Figs actually lower acidity of your body. So you now can buffer that acid. So you don't have heartburn. You don't have all those problems that are happening in Ramadan just by eating figs, which have a high pH and can neutralize a lot of those foods. And again, just drinking that water, really can flush your body out and just avoid all the sodium, the salt, and make sure your potassium is balanced by eating dates, by eating bananas, by eating strawberries, kiwi, these watermelon. These are the things you got to start eating. And I will start eating them now. Go get you a watermelon today and some dates and just get
Mhm.
used to eating watermelon and dates every day until Ramadan starts. So those are the foods to avoid. Avoid eating out at restaurants because if you eat out at restaurants, it's going to be full of salt. In fact, they showed that a lot of dishes that you eat at a restaurant have enough salt for the whole day for you. Like your daily requirement for sodium is in that
Mhm.
one plate. So it's crazy. You know what I mean? That's going to cause a lot of thirst and you're going to have a lot of problems fasting. So I would highly recommend you kind of cut back on the salt, balance the potassium, and avoid eating out and avoid all those all those salty type of foods. And you'll save a lot of money by not eating out, right?
Yes, definitely. Another thing, and that may not be in your particular area of expertise, I don't know, but I would ask sleep. We don't sleep on a regular schedule, or regular schedule for the month of Ramadan is fine, but it's not the regular schedule that we usually follow outside of Ramadan. How do we manage that? And how
That
many hours of sleep we should be taking?
Yeah, that's something I'm really well versed on. Actually, sleep I've studied for many many years. I've written about it. I have a whole chapter in my book about sleep. So I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of sleep. I love sleep. I really enjoy it. I highly recommend it for others. No, I think sleep is really. I always say the best principles of fitness are what I call NESS, which is NESS, which is nutrition, exercise, sleep, and supplements. So those four are the key, and sleep is a big one. I did a TED talk actually last week with Columbia University, and one of the parts of my speeches was how important sleep is for fitness, for health, and what you said about lower energy, brain function. That's all related to sleep. But see, the key with Ramadan is you got to get quality sleep. So even if you don't sleep a lot, I mean, and we're all sleep
Mhm.
deprived in Ramadan, right? But if you can get that quality 3 to 4 hours and then take a nap, that is critical. So if you can get 3 to 4 hours of deep quality sleep before suhoor, and then you take a nap in the afternoon when you come back from work, maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours, that is a lifesaver. And most importantly, stick to that same schedule of sleep. I know Ramadan It's sporadic, but try in your mind to say, okay, I'm going to pray at this time from 12 to 3:30. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to wake up at 3:30, pray, suhoor. So, and then I'm going to take a nap at exactly, 5:30 to 7, right? Whatever it is,
Hmm.
but get a schedule and stick to that sleep schedule, because what that does, it maximizes your circadian cycle. And then now your body's working for you versus against you. So sleep at the exact same time, even a nap at the same time. And some tips to get deep sleep. Number one, get rid of the phone. No phone, no blue light. We all look at the phone before we sleep. You know it. I see you smiling. You do it.
Yes.
Guilt. Hey, I'm guilty too. Get that phone away from you. Get the TV, laptop away from you 1 hour before sleeping. Number two, keep the bedroom at a very cool temperature. Very, very cool, because you'll sleep a lot better. And then number three, try to avoid caffeine and eating right before bedtime. Right before you sleep, don't eat too much. Eat light. And then also meditate. And we already pray before. So, try to, be ease of your mind. Pray a little more. Maybe do two extra rakat prayer before sleep, whatever it is, to calm you down, to allow you to really, really relax. And then you can get that deep sleep. And when you get deep sleep, then you can maximize everything else. It's that choppy sleep that we want to avoid.
All right. Sounds good. Any other things that we should not be doing?
Well, I think a lot of things, but I'll let the religious scholars handle that part. From a food fitness part. Again, I think the number one thing we shouldn't be doing, and I'll say this and I'll scream it from the mountaintops. You know what I mean? And I've climbed Mount Arafah. I've climbed the mountains in Mecca. So I'll scream it from there. But I'll say that don't overeat. That is the
Hmm.
number one tip I'll leave you guys with, is do not overeat. Whatever you do, don't ever in Ramadan eat until you're full. Eat enough to sustain yourself. Really train your mind, train your body, and it starts with the mind, right? You guys just think to yourself, okay, food for function. I gotta go pray. I gotta get your mind into something else, work, whatever it is, right?
Hmm.
But don't think about food too much. Almost ignore it, and then that will help you. So don't overeat. Number two, make sure you always get suhoor. Many of us skip suhoor and
Hmm.
miss all that. That is a disaster. Like, it's funny. Last Ramadan, I think it was one of the few Ramadans that I never missed suhoor, not one day. And it was one of the best Ramadans I ever had in my life, because it's a game changer, right? Because you can't
Yep.
focus if your work suffers, everything suffers. Make sure you get suhoor. Even if you get up and even if you're late for suhoor, get a nutrition shake. Get a protein shake, add fiber, add, vegetables, add fruit, add wild blueberries, for example. You talked about energy and brain function during the
Hmm.
workday. Wild blueberries are great for brain health. So in the morning, for example, if you are happen to be running late for
Hmm.
suhoor, get a shake, quickly dump all the stuff in there, like spinach and kale and wild blueberries and really delicious stuff, and just quickly slam down that shake and drink a lot of water. That'll be good enough if you happen to be late. Ideally, you want to eat food though, if you can. So don't miss suhoor. And then the final tip I'll leave with you is two tips: is that don't break your fast with something crazy. Light iftar, and
Hmm.
then a lot of water at night so you can be productive the day after. So those are the things I would leave you with. And again, don't overeat, please. I'm begging you.
We'll try, definitely. All right. Thank you very much, Rehan. Thank you for keeping the commitment. I know you are traveling right now and you are in DC. So thank you for making it happen and being on the show today. Really appreciate it. And I hope the viewers find value in it in implementing these strategies that you talked about, and in using the foods and other nutrients that you talked about.
Thank you. Yeah,
Have
it's
a
my absolute pleasure to be here. Again, we just want to help you be better, help people have the best Ramadan possible, and improve wellness, and then follow the tradition of our book and the Prophet. So that is so much of it
yep.
is not overeating and eating well and taking care of your body. You only have one, so this is the time. So wish all of you a beautiful Ramadan. Be great in it, especially you, Kashif. You're doing amazing work. Keep it up. And I think people will benefit from this and the other things you're doing. So bless you and bless your family, and we'll have the best Ramadan ever, inshallah.
All right. Same to you. Thank you so much, Rehan.
All right, take care, guys.
Assalamualaikum.
Peace, Islam.